everybody, it's your favorite gentleman, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today you all are in for a fabulous treat. I have a very unique CEO on the show today, and you want to stay tuned for this episode. This man is bringing us into the new age of technology with his company, Ostrich. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's your boy Marcus Norman, your favorite gentleman of the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today I have an incredible CEO, Mr. William Glass. He's the CEO and co-founder of Ostrich and the host of the Silicon Alley podcast. His mission is to improve global financial well-being. Prior to Ostrich, Mr. William helped develop a new sales vertical for Remesh, an IA market research company, and led sales teams at Gartner Research, where he worked with innovative technology executives on scaling their business. In 2014, Mr. Williams was awarded a Fulbright scholarship where he taught English in rural Thailand for 14 months. So y'all help me welcome to the stage the incredible, the amazing, Mr. William Ostrich Glass. Forgive me.
That's all right. I can take that. Yeah, William Ostrich. That works.
CEO, founder extraordinaire, sir. Sorry about that. Thank you, Mr. Glass. Thank you for joining us today on Gentleman Style Podcast Show.
Absolutely.
This is epic, sir. First, I got to dive in. I got to ask, sir, why the name? I'm going to start with the obvious. Why the name Ostrich? How did you and your team come up with that?
Yeah, so that's a funny story, actually. We were really struggling to name the company. We were on like GoDaddy, searching up URLs that were available, trying terrible combinations of like Finlit and like all these different things. And we just couldn't figure out what to name the company. Eventually, my co-founder and I were at a friend's birthday party in Brooklyn. So we were at this rooftop bar in Brooklyn and trying to figure out what to name the company. Neither one of us were drinking. We were just there at the birthday party. And we were typing things in. And eventually I looked over at my co-founder and he happened to be wearing a shirt that had ostriches all over it. And at some point I looked at it and I said, Ostrich, that could work. Ostrich. Okay, rich is in there. We're trying to help people live a rich life. We want to help people get their heads out of the sand when it comes to money and finances, help them build nest eggs. This works. I think Ostrich works. And luckily there's no finance companies called Ostrich. So it stuck.
Easy trademark. Yeah. Quick trademark there. No competition. Unless a local zoo might be offended or PETA, they might come after you, but you're good there.
There is an app called like Ostriches Among Us, which is like a game. I've never played it, but that comes up sometimes in the App Store if you're looking. So,
gotcha. That doesn't sound like a game.
Use case.
Yeah, not the same thing. Not the same thing. I don't think that's like Angry Birds. It's probably over there with Angry Birds or Candy Crush.
Exactly.
So tell us, what does Ostrich do? I read your fabulous Bible. What is the core? What is the soup to nuts of what Ostrich does?
Yeah, I think the key thing that we deliver to people, the problem that we solve, is that we relieve financial stress. We help people achieve their financial goals, and we do that through a mobile app that makes it super simple to achieve your financial goals, and if you don't have them, to set them. So when a user first joins the app, they pick their life interest milestones, like they're going to have a baby, saving for retirement, want to buy a house, and based on that, we put people in challenges that provide them a pathway structure and a group of other people that are also working towards that same goal.
Perfect. Who do you have on your team? Who's the financial guru amongst you and your team?
Yeah. So my co-founder, he has a finance background. So he worked in private equity and then investment banking. But for me, I've been really interested in the personal finance space for a very, very long time. My parents got divorced because of money. So in 2008, It is what it is. But in 2008, when the housing bubble burst, their relationship burst along with it. And so ever since then, I've been really, really focused on trying to solve the real world problems, mostly for myself to start with. How do I make sure that I'm in a good place and can support my family in the future? And then thinking about how can we actually solve some of these problems and challenges that come from a lack of financial literacy, lack of understanding how to set and achieve financial goals that are real problems in society. Like you might have seen last year, there was a 20-year-old Robinhood trader who took his own life because he thought that he was $750,000 in debt. Right. So there's real consequences to money and finances that I think we're all aware of, but it doesn't seem to be that anyone's really trying to solve those. They're making quicker, better, faster tools, which is great. But what about the human side?
Right. That's true. That's true. If you all are unfamiliar with that story, is the young man, like you said, the young man took his life because he was on Robinhood and he was investing, and he didn't understand. He didn't have a firm financial grasp. And Robinhood at one point told him that he was hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, when it actually wasn't necessarily the case. He had $100,000 in borrowed debt, but it wasn't actually his debt. But he took his own life because of the shock factor and the initial number. Young man, not even like, I think he was barely even 20, took his own life, killed himself, and wrote an apology letter to his family, thinking that he had just put his family financially back. It was a tragedy to read about.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's that's kind of the interest in personal finance and the problems that we aim to solve. But that's where I've been really interested in money and finance ever since then. Reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, all that kind of stuff, consuming all the great content that's in this space.
Absolutely. Perfect. I want to dive a little bit deeper. That was the 3,000-foot view, but I want to know, how in depth does Ostrich go into my personal finances? Are we talking linked to my bank account, and then it tells me, Marcus, you are, it gives me the pie graph where it says you are spending this amount in groceries, this amount in car repairs, this amount? Like, how deep in my finances does Ostrich get? And then what does it help me overcome? Does it give recommendations? Does it give possibilities or probabilities to increase or save money here or there?
Yeah, great question. So I think one of the key things that makes us different is that we're not linking to bank accounts. There's plenty of apps out there that do that. We're not a financial services company. We're not linking to bank accounts. We want to focus on the behavioral side, right? So it's really focused on creating a pathway for you to achieve those goals. So we're not linking to bank accounts. What happens is we want to focus on the top 1 to 3 goals that you have based on your life milestones and things that you want to achieve in your life. So really the focus is on how can I take steps to get to those goals. I don't need to know that you spent, $5 at Starbucks this morning, right? If your goal is something completely different, right? That's great. There's plenty of tools that do that very, very well. And we definitely recommend that people use those tools, but no one's really helping from a longer term perspective of, are you actually taking those steps on a regular basis, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? So that's really what the app does, is it has regular check-ins that are a part of those challenges, that you come in and recognize whether you've saved that extra $100 or whatever it is that you're trying to save that month. And based on that, we provide content and information that are contextual to your goal. So you don't need to know everything about money and finances. Right now, Marcus, if you're focused on buying a house and you've never bought a house, we're going to talk about what's an interest rate, what's a mortgage, and those kinds of things that are actually relevant to you as you're working towards that down payment to get that dream home.
Makes sense. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love that.
I like that little guy.
That's the Gentleman Style Podcast mascot. So he's here to support, and he agrees with you, right? That's what we need. We are not retiring well, and that's the significance. That's the biggest cause of breakups, right? Divorce, money, finances, sex, poor communication. So you are hitting one of the top tier things that is plaguing us in America. So you are absolutely spot on, brother. You are absolutely necessary. We have one quick commercial break, y'all. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right right back. Good day, podcast listeners. This is your boy, Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I wanted to let you guys know that we will be rolling out a new feature and adding a join sponsor button next to the subscriber button here at the bottom of your screen. Once you click the button, it will display 3 membership levels. Gentleman Gentry, which is our entry level, Duke Duchess, which is our season level, and the Emperor and Empress, which is our most sophisticated level, which you will receive unique perks and benefits at each differing level and gain access to our community tab. We will also be sharing polls, upcoming events, and interviews, as well as receive feedback from our sponsors directly. Your support helps me find new and exciting guests to bring to the stage live. Well, in order to get the higher end speakers, it requires, you guessed it, money. So thank you for tuning in to my channel. And if becoming a sponsor sounds good to you, then select the join button below and choose your desired sponsor level. Let's continue to grow and serve the future of generations of men and women to come. Love you guys. Bye. Welcome back, y'all. If you're just tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast Show, we have the CEO and co-founder, William Glass, the man, the myth, the legend, the creator of the Ostrich app. And this app is changing the way we do financial business, and he is helping us get to a better place financially. If you haven't heard of it, now you have, and this is the moment, this is the opportunity to go out and get involved and get tuned in and get dialed in to get to a financial better place. Mr. Glass, sir, I got to dive in. Let's talk money. How much, right? There's this app, creating an app, first off, is expensive. And so creating an app has a cost to it. Even if the outcome is world changing like your app is, how much is it cost? Let's find out.
Yeah, so this is an interesting question. Before building the app, I think I spoke to 30 different development companies over the course of many months. Because I'm not an engineer. As you heard, my co-founder's background is in finance. Mine's in sales, and neither one of us know how to build a product. So we had to figure out how to build it, and didn't want to spend a ton of money, right? Being able to build something quick and easy. And I think I spoke with about 30 different development companies. They all came in around 150,000. The cheapest were 50, and then finally got people down to 30,000. And it didn't matter where they were located, whether they were an outsourced model in India or Eastern Europe, or it was like a hybrid model where they had some people in the US. Everyone seemed to land in that same range, no matter what specs we gave them, because they kept changing as we kept learning about our customers. And in the end, we were about to sign a contract for about $35,000 to build the app. And COVID hit in March. And so we took a step back, had brought on a technical advisor who helped us figure out a way to build it without spending any money to start with. So I ended up using some no-code tools. I don't know if your audience is familiar, but there's a suite of tools called no-code that allow you to build software products without knowing how to code, as the name says. And so I used a tool called AppGyver. It's a free tool unless you're doing 10 million in revenue. So for most people that are trying to build a product for the first time, it's free. And it allows you to build a mobile app without knowing how to code and without spending any money. So I was able to build an iOS and an Android app through that platform. And so we spent no money on the very first version, which is live in the app stores. And we're now working version 2, which has a more robust social experience. The first app that's live currently is a solo experience. And so we've taken feedback from our users and are rolling that into V2, which has cost us money. But the initial version was zero.
Wow.
I guess let me put a caveat there. It wasn't fully zero because we had to pay for the developer account for Apple, which was $100 a year, and Google Play was $25 total. So it wasn't completely free, but in terms of what you're thinking about development, the development costs were free.
Yeah, we're very, very minimal. We have a question from one of our VIP sponsor audience members, Miss Erica Holmes. She asked a question: do you use SaaS? Is that going to be the rollout for version 2, or is kind of a subscription based model, or kind of keep it along the lines of maybe an annual fee or one time fee?
Yeah. So the way that we've modeled the application is that we want to reach audiences that typically aren't included, right? People that don't have bank accounts, the underbanked. These are the communities that we believe we can help because we're not forcing you to link a bank account or providing financial services. So the app is free. The app will be free for everyone. The way that we make money is by recommending products and services, right? So if you do join the application and you don't in the app and you don't have a brokerage account, but you're in an investing challenge, we're going to make a recommendation of 3 partners that we really believe in. And if you sign up through our link, that's when we make money. So that's the first part of the business model. The second is we do have a B2B offering, and that's where the SaaS comes in. So that is an offering for employers that want to roll this out internally with their companies as an employee benefit. And we've got a separate kind of section of the app where they can just work with their coworkers and spin up information about the employer's benefits. So we've got this kind of 2-pronged approach, but the core platform will be free for everyone.
Love free. And that's very smart, right? And that's very smart. So this is the service, just not only the banked, right, but the unbanked. But how does that work? So I have to manually enter my goals and my financial goals. Do I have to add my expenditures in there manually each time I make an expense or I'm anticipating an expense?
Yeah, so we're not a budgeting app. So that's not what we're doing. So I don't want you to come in here and type in all of your transactions because that would be a terrible experience. I would hate that. I'm sure there's plenty of tools that automate that, and that's great. But like I said, we're really focused on the top things that you're trying to accomplish. So if you just have a problem where you just online shop way too much, then rather than focusing on your entire budget, if that's the problem, then let's just focus on that. And so we'll have regular daily check-ins for no spending challenges where you're acknowledging whether you spent or didn't spend online shopping. And the way that it works is you're going to get points. There's a gamification component, right, to keep people incentivized. So if I don't hit my goal, I still come in and I can measure progress, and I can, earn points, leaderboard, badges. So we don't want to discourage people just because you had a slip in the road and you needed to buy something on Amazon or whatever, a medical expense came up and you're not going to be able to hit your savings goal. So we're factoring those things in, but it's really, again, focused on those top goals that a user has.
That makes sense. And I was just you stole my question. I think he's cheating, y'all. He stole my next question. I was going to ask, how do you hold people accountable, right? How do you hold me accountable? If I slip up and I don't meet my goal or I don't achieve this goal, what's the event or what's holding me to continue striving to meet this, right? You remind me of the Dave Ramsey. You are the Dave Ramsey of Ostrich, right? And so if I have a goal, let's say I want $1,000 emergency fund, right? Nothing big, nothing too crazy, right? Give up a couple McDonald's meals, give up a couple Starbucks meals and shakes here and there, and I can hit that. And so the benefit to the consumer is you've now achieved your $1,000 threshold and you've gotten awarded those badges and those compliments. So that makes sense. Any dynamic partnerships that you recommend in that you partner with Ostrich? Because you mentioned it a little bit earlier that that's a revenue source for you. What's one partnership that you have that the consumers can expect that'll help me achieve better financial success?
Yeah, so we've got about 15 partners right now that are in the app that we're working to continue to develop more that we believe in. But I mean, most of them are around setting up accounts right now. So for example, we really like Marcus funny enough, we like you, Marcus, but we also like Marcus as
Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs. Yeah. As a money market account. So if you're looking for a money market account, they're one of our partners. So we've got.
So he doesn't like me, y'all. He really doesn't like me.
No, we do. So we've got, a few different partners that are built into it. And, like Credit Karma, we do believe in monitoring your credit, but now there's so many ways to do that, But the point is that it's really focused on those little kind of accounts tools that people can use. And the whole idea is we want to recommend tools that will help you either achieve your goal more easily or more quickly. So SoFi, for example, if you're trying to consolidate student loan debt and it makes sense, then go consolidate and then then enter the debt challenge where you're paying down debt, because now you've at least lowered your interest rate and you have one target that you're paying versus like all the different accounts and trying to manage that and figure out what to pay off. So
that's powerful. That is powerful. Debt consolidation is powerful when used correctly. And so I like that. I like that Ostrich makes those recommendations as it sees you transition through your financial journey. So I like that. And thank you for that. This is needed. This is necessary, y'all. I wanted to point out one thing. Thank you, Miss Erica, for your contribution. This contribution, if you guys see on the screen here, this helps. This is a monetary contribution to the show. It helps us find great guests, just like with Mr. Glass and other CEOs and founders. So your support helps us grow the show. So if you're ever curious about these denominations that you see putting up on the show, that's what these are. These are VIP sponsors who support the show, and it helps us continue to fund and find great guests like Mr. Glass. So thank you for that, Miss Erica. I appreciate you, sir. I gotta ask a question. What is something that also sets, so you have some milestones on here. I'm on your website, so I'm cheating a little bit. So you have some key terms on here like frugal fall, Sunday scaries, clear your cards. Can you explain what those mean?
Yeah, so those are names of challenges. So we don't want to just say, saving for a down payment. That's kind of boring, right? So all of the challenges have their own kind of fun names. And a lot of them are centered around things that you probably are doing anyway if you're working on getting your finances in order. So Sunday Scaries is just a regular weekly kind of check in and play on the term Sunday Scaries that people get thinking about going back to work and applying that to money. So instead, go review your accounts, on Sunday. If you're scared anyway about going back to work, go ahead and take that time to review your finances. Frugal Fall, that is the fall spending challenge. And that's actually the first challenge that we tested this concept with. Before we went out and built our platform, is we actually tested this using Facebook groups, used free tools that were available to us to make sure that we were going to build the right thing. And that's one where you pick one thing that you're unhappy with spending wise for the fall, and you cut that out. And every day come into the app and mark whether you achieved that or not. And you can see your friends that are also in that challenge, whether they hit their goals or not. And you can encourage them and
poke fun at them.
Yeah, poke fun at them. So that's what the challenges are. And I think one thing that's important to note is that all of the amounts are private. So no one's going to see that what your dollar amount is, whether you're saving $10,000, $20,000 for your down payment for a house, or you're saving $250,000. That's private to you. But your percentage to goal, how you're progressing, and that's where the gamification comes in, so that we can have that community and support. But the funny names on the app all tie back to the challenges that we have.
Makes sense. Love that. Miss Erica Holmes, I must warn you, Mr. Glass. Miss Erica is a tech CEO, so her questions are a little bit in depth. She asked, with that many partnerships, she's talking about the 15 partnerships that you have with Marcus and Goldman Sachs. Do you have a NDA in place?
So we use NDAs when we're obviously talking about things that are proprietary. So we do have NDAs in place. Now we're kind of promotion tools for them. So we're able to talk about the partnerships that we have, but not in detail in terms of, compensation and some of those structural things. So yes, we do use NDAs to make sure that we keep everyone safe, ourselves as well as our partners.
Perfect. Makes sense. You have an option also on your website about investing. Does Ostrich help me invest? Kind of like Stash or Acorns. Do you have a investment block like that incorporated into the app?
Yeah. So those are all the challenge categories. So we're not just helping people save, we're also helping them invest. So one of my favorite challenges is DCA is the way, which stands for dollar cost averaging. If you're not familiar with dollar cost averaging, it's one of the there we go. Marcus knows, but it's one of the most effective ways to invest. It's where you invest a set amount every month or whatever cadence makes sense for you. And if the stock market is up, then you're going to buy less shares of stock of whatever you're investing in. And if it's down, you're actually going to buy more. So you average in at an average price. But what it does is it just builds that habit. So the investing is all about the challenges. So we've got different categories: saving, investing, spending, which is actually no spending, but no spending doesn't sound as fun. Giving, and I think I said debt. I don't know if I said debt pay down, but debt pay down is the other one. So,
so all the wickets of financial success. And our mascot agrees with you. He is happy. He's a happy mascot. So thank you for breaking that down. He has the money sign on his belly. So we like investing on this show. We like money on this show. We like investing. So that's powerful. Miss Erica asks, is this for couples? Can couples take advantage of the opportunities with Ostrich? I know you said you keep the money private, so my wife can't know, like, hey, honey, I got this side goal for a wedding ring, or the anniversary ring. She's like, oh, what's this $200 ring you're talking? Like, I could get some people in trouble, but can couples incorporate this in any kind of way?
Absolutely, yeah. So you have the option to set challenge level things that are private. So you could say, hey, I've got this one challenge and I want to keep it private. You can also keep those interests and milestones private. So no one needs to know that, I don't know, you're interested in cryptocurrency or whatever it is, if you don't want to share that, so we've got that level of privacy because I think that that's so important, especially because we are a social app that is talking about money, and there's so many emotions that go into that. But yes, it is for couples. So we've got one that is for people that are saving for a wedding. Our love is priceless. And that's one of the challenges where you're working towards that goal together. So that one you would be able to see each other's goals because it's the same goal. But there are ways to keep things private if, for example, you're trying to buy a surprise, a nice anniversary ring.
Thank goodness. You just saved, I don't know how many marriages. You just saved you just saved a whole bunch of marriages just now. So that is powerful. We have one more quick commercial break, y'all. You guys don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Stay with us. Stay engaged. We'll be right back.
I'm Marcus Norman, bringing fresh vibes to hot topics surrounding culture, relationships, business, finance, sex, dating, faith, and everything in between. Whether you're into passive income opportunities, trending topics and useful relationship tips, or dynamic guest speakers, there's something for everyone. You can expect all that and more every week. If you're down with this content, then consider joining our growing community by subscribing to Gentleman Style Podcast and smash the bell to get on our VIP list. Your support means the world. Thanks for watching. Link to my channel.
Welcome back. If you are just tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast show, we have the incredible Mr. William Glass, and he just broke down his new and profound app that is changing the game that we reach to financial success. His company called Ostrich, the Ostrich app. That is what's changing the game, and it is available on Google and Apple versions, whatever version you have. If you have a BlackBerry, I don't know what to tell you because I don't know what BlackBerry does, but it is available now for download to help you get to a better financial future. Mr. Glass, what question did you want to share? Anything that you wanted to share about Ostrich? Anything that I've missed? Anything that you wanted to put out? Any new and upcoming things that you have coming down the pipeline for us with Ostrich?
Yeah, so I think I alluded to this earlier, but we are getting ready to roll out the second version of the platform, which has that more robust social experience, gamification, and an improved user experience. So right now, what is live on iOS and Android is the solo experience, but we'll be rolling that out in the next, I think it'll be September, end of September that we'll have that live. We're in a testing phase right now. So that will be really, really exciting. The other thing is that we have a rewards program. So shares for shares is what we call it, where you can actually earn, we've cut out a small amount of equity. So it's capped of how much equity we can give away. But for our early adopters, you have the ability to actually earn shares of stock in Ostrich. So it's a really unique referral program, and one that I think kind of shows what we're about, which is trying to align our success with our user success. So definitely check that out. You can earn swag and merch and all that kind of stuff too, but we also give away shares of stock as part of that. So
You give away. Woo!
So,
That is
like
big,
I said,
though.
it's a small amount of equity, and it's more of a display than it'll probably make you rich. So please don't bank your retirement on it. But like I said, it's a way to give back to our early adopters and supporters.
And wow. This has been a powerful episode, Mr. Glass. How can people connect with you? How can people learn more about Ostrich and the movement that you are on? This train has left the station, but it's not too late to get on board. How can we connect?
Yeah, so you can visit the website getostrich.com. So GET Ostrich, OSTRICH, getostrich.com to learn more. If you want to email me, my email is just my first name at getostrich.com. I'm happy to connect, answer any questions. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. Just Google or search William Glass and Ostrich, and I'll pop right up. But yeah, no, I think the one thing I'd ask the audience to do is just understand your own relationship with money. I think that's where all of this starts, whether good, bad, feelings, emotions. So yeah, think about that. And that's what I would say to leave the audience with. But you can connect with me in all those places. And then I've got a podcast called Silicon Alley, which is focused on talking to entrepreneurs, VCs, and people that are doing great things in the business world. So
Powerful. Check out that podcast, y'all. It is dynamic. You thought this show was good. This show is good, but his is better. This is a veteran.
I don't know about that, Marcus. I don't know about that.
Thank you, sir. This has been powerful. I'm going to leave that website up again. It is getostrich.com. Website is getostrich.com. Available now on Apple and Google, where you can download anytime. Available right now and start getting to a better financial future. Sir, I want to tell you on behalf of my audience, I want to tell you from me, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give back in this way. This is powerful. You are powerful. And I want to say to you publicly, if you've ever felt low, if you ever felt like giving up, don't, because the world needs you. We need you, and we need what you're doing. So thank you, and don't ever give up.
Well, thank you, Marcus. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your platform and what you're doing. I think it's great. You ask great questions. It's a lot of fun. And thank you to the audience as well, Miss Erica. And I think there were a couple others that popped up. So thank you for the great questions.
Absolutely. Thank you all, my audience, for tuning in to the Gentleman Style Podcast show. I hope this message has served you, and I hope it was dynamic. And if you are ever interested in connecting, if you, for whatever reason, missed these links, connect with me, and I will get you in touch with Mr. Glass himself, the man, the myth, the legend. This is dope. You all have a fantastic day. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Like I end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and always take care of business. This is Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show and Mr. William Glass, CEO and co-founder of the Ostrich app. Love you guys. Bye.